Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier go at it because Conor McGregor didn't send a $500,000 donation as promised. Knuckleheads, this is a very, very strange one, a very disrespectful one, and one that sits very wrong with me. You know, we all know that Dustin Poirier has a fantastic charity. I believe it's called the Good Fight Foundation. And I guess they came to a deal in their last fight that, you know, after the fight, Conor McGregor was going to donate something like $500,000 to the charity. Khabib, I believe, kind of did the same thing when he fought Poirier, you know, auctioning off his shirt or something like that and selling the proceeds, or rather giving the proceeds of the sale to Dustin Poirier. But, you know, Conor McGregor, once again, kind of, you know, takes us one way and then brings us to another. Shows us one hand or one side of him and then reveals another. And in this situation, you know, I appreciate the fact, right, that you want to be the heel. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the fact that you want to get under your opponent's skin. You know, this is something that Floyd Mayweather was a master in. But, you know, at the end of the day, with combat sports especially, there has to be the maintenance of some sort of integrity, you guys, because the reason I say that is, as a promoter on the come up with a growing promotion, you know, I see what these fighters go through. I see what the ones that aren't getting the glory go through. I see the ones that aren't getting paid YouTuber money are going through. I see the ones that aren't legends doing exhibitions, you know, and more power to them, but aren't legends doing exhibitions. I see what those guys go through. I see how they get the shit kicked out of them. I see how they suffer injuries that are career threatening and fight through them. I see how they, you know, don't really have any money most of the time. And part of the mission on this channel is to give not only all fight fans a space to discuss these kind of things, but is to build FightersRep promotions in order to try to avoid the compromising of the culture of combat sports, right, for the love of money. I mean, look, I love money as much as the next guy, right? But integrity is integrity for a reason. At some point, if you keep eroding at this sport, it begins to fail. And I know a lot of people will say that, you know, boxing has been doing it and boxing's doing great. Yeah, absolutely, boxing's doing great. But look at the situation that is manifested where the UFC, right, an MMA company that's constantly reinvesting in itself as opposed to boxing, which is always doing these, you know, going out of business sales like this Jake Paul Askren card and, you know, these legend fights and these exhibition fights. Look at a sport like MMA that's constantly investing in itself, you know, bringing in casual fans while also retaining and pleasing hardcore fans. I mean, for me, the UFC and MMA surpassed boxing, right? Despite being maybe, I don't know, 1/100th the age and having 1/1000th the history. The UFC basically surpassed boxing on that night for me when Jorge Masvidal and, you know, Nate Diaz fought at Madison Square Garden, and Canelo Alvarez was in his locker room waiting on that fight to end so he could come out so it wouldn't hurt his viewership. And basically boxing had to take a second chair in that situation to Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz, despite the fact that it was Canelo who, you know, unless you're wearing a tin hat as opposed to a fez, you know he's the biggest star in all of boxing. And my point is that, you know, that constant goofiness, that constant gimmicky fights and exhibitions, and not only that, but the bad decisions and the A-side versus B-side fights that they put together and the mismatches and the constant, you know, manufacturing of undefeated records. At some point, it's going to come to a head. It's already kind of boiling over right now. But at some point, I feel like it's going to come to a head, man. You cannot disrespect the sport to that point. You cannot insult people's intelligence and disrespect the integrity of the sport and wear away at it, without some sort of consequence. We're already seeing it in boxing. In our sport, kickboxing, which is, what FightersRep is, I hope to never do that. If I ever get hold of any sort of gimmicky fight or a famous YouTuber or legend or whatever, they would be integrated as part of a card, right? Where you've got upcoming young fighters and guys that are working hard. And, we do pro-ams. So, we put the pros at the top of the card and the amateurs at the bottom because we want to build everybody up and have a farming system. And, I would never just, put together a card. I mean, I guess you never say never, but I would hope that I never have to put together a card, right? And I will fight tooth and nail not to, where it's just like some YouTubers and no real actual fighters are getting any shine. For me, if it were Ben Askren versus Jake Paul, that would be on the bill somewhere. I'm not even sure if I would make that the main event, to be honest with you. I probably wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. I'd put that somewhere on the card, and then I would just litter the card with young, upcoming guys that work hard, that deserve their place. And that's kind of what we're doing here at FightersRep. By the way, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and then hit the like button. After you do that, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it, and hopefully you join the channel to help me continue to build the channel and the promotion, which, by the way, we're aiming at a late July, August date to come back. It looks like California hopefully is reopening on June 15th, assuming the trends of this horrific virus continue to deteriorate, and hopefully we'll be open by the end of July. We're going to have an absolutely stacked card. We're already talking about matchups. We've got UFC vets and Glory vets and Bellator vets, and it's going to be absolutely nuts. Obviously, the only way you can watch is if you join the channel, so please consider doing that. Also, be sure to get your FightersRep gear, man. Anything you guys purchase in the link below is going to help us continue to build the channel and the promotion. This is just, an off-the-cuff discussion I wanted to have with you guys. I do think that integrity is there for a reason. There's a reason for it. There's a place for it, especially in combat sports that have historically been based in honor and respect and tradition. You can't just totally goof it up, the way some of these people are doing. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. And before I sign off, shout out to our sponsor, Nueva Real Estate. Be sure to follow them on Instagram at Nueva Real Estate for all your California real estate needs. If you're interested in sponsoring us, be sure to get at us. You could DM us on Instagram or send an email to us, or, write something in the comments below. The email is info@fightersrep.com. I look forward to hearing you guys, man.